Hello, I'm Beth Wagner, physical therapist. In this video, I'm going to show you an excellent full-body stabilization exercise program to address generalized hypermobility. These exercises will likely be beneficial for you if you've been diagnosed or you've otherwise experienced hypermobility throughout your entire body. These exercises start gently and build up gradually, improving the stability of the joints from head to toe. As we move through this program, it's very important to listen to your body. Start out with very light resistance and just a few repetitions. As your strength improves, as you feel more and more comfortable with the exercises, then gradually increase the intensity and add repetitions. You're more likely to achieve greater benefit by starting out with less intensity and fewer repetitions and building up session by session. Mild stretch discomfort and muscle fatigue are normal with these exercises, but you shouldn't be feeling any pain. Stop right away if you feel any pain, especially sharp, shooting, stabbing pain, or any numbness or tingling. If you do begin to experience pain either during these exercises or immediately afterward, stop and rest. Continue the exercises after the pain has resolved. You might benefit from taking the rest of the day to rest and then trying again the next day. We'll start with a series of exercises lying down and then finish with exercises standing up. The first exercise is a march with a small lift. This exercise focuses on activating the transversus abdominis muscle, the deep abdominal muscle that acts as a corset or a brace for core stabilization and support. Lying on your back with your knees bent, feet about hips distance apart, and arms comfortably by your side, bring your navel, your belly button in toward your spine, pulling in deeply, as if you were trying to zip up a tight pair of pants, or as if you were trying to suck your abdominals in. This should feel like a hollowing out of your belly, not pressing your belly up. It can also be helpful to place your fingertips just on the inside of your pelvis, on the inside of the top of your hip bones here. See if you can feel the activation of those deep abdominal muscles. This should feel like the soft abdominal tissue firms up underneath your fingers. Play with that for a few breaths, a few moments, to see if you can activate those deep muscles. Make sure that you're continuing to breathe. It can be helpful to practice breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Okay, the next step is to add the small leg lift. First, engage those lower abdominals by bringing the belly button in toward the spine. Then lift the left leg just an inch or two off the surface, pause, and lower. And relax your abdominals. Again, bring your belly button in toward the spine, engage the lower abdominals, and lift the right leg an inch or two above the surface, and then lower. And relax. Engage the abdominals, lift the left leg, pause, and lower. And relax. Engage the abdominals, lift the right leg an inch or two, pause, and then lower. Once you feel comfortable engaging the abdominal muscles and then letting them relax, you can try adding more repetitions of the leg lift before relaxing. Again, begin by engaging the abdominals. Lift the left leg a small amount, an inch or two is all. Pause and then lower. Keep the abdominals engaged and lift the right leg an inch or two. Pause and then lower. Keep the abdominals engaged. Lift the left leg an inch or two. Pause and lower. And then again, lift the right leg. Pause and lower. Continue alternating the leg lift for 20 repetitions total, or as many as you can do to start with. Gradually build up session by session as your strength improves. The next exercise is a bridge. We'll start this out with a very small lift as well. It's far better to do all of these exercises with light or minimal resistance. Build up with repetition, session by session. Okay, for the bridge, we'll start in the same position, lying comfortably on your back, knees bent, and feet about hips distance apart. Bring your arms along your side. Engage your lower abdominals by bringing your belly button in toward the spine. And then lift your hips up in the air, just an inch or two off the surface. Pause, and then lower. And relax everything. Again, start by activating the abdominal muscles and then lift the hips. An inch or two, pause, and then lower. Continue each repetition starting with activation of the abdominals, followed by lifting the hips just an inch or two. Pause and then lower. As strength improves and you're able to do more repetitions pain-free, gradually build up to 20 repetitions. Once you reach 20 repetitions and you're ready for more, then begin to lift a little bit higher into the bridge. Go 4 or 5 inches up into the air. Pause, and then release. Activate the abdominals and lift the hips. Continue gradually increasing the height of the bridge as tolerated, and then lower. When performing a low bridge, lifting the hips only a few inches. It's quite comfortable to have a low amount of pillow support here. But once you're able to lift your hips higher up into the bridge, it's far more comfortable to not have pillow support. So you'll likely want to remove the pillow here as you increase the height of the bridge. Feel this out, see what's most comfortable for your neck and your upper back. For the next 2 exercises, fold a bath towel or a beach towel lengthwise, and then fold it again so that you have a long, somewhat narrow towel. Now place this towel underneath your knees. It's usually best to lift one leg at a time to do this. So lift one leg, put it down, lift the other leg, place the towel underneath, and then put that foot down. Okay, from this position now, cross the ends of the towel over each other, and then switch hands so that the towel is crossed and you're able to relax your arms by your side. Now this is an isometric hip abduction exercise. Isometric exercises focus on stabilization by activating the muscles with very little movement and using light resistance. On your next exhale, press your legs out into the towel and continue breathing while you hold pressure on the towel with light resistance for 3 seconds. And then release the pressure. Relax your arms. And again, pulling out on the towel with your hands, press your legs into the towel. Hold the pressure for 3 seconds. And then relax. Relax your legs and your arms. With your arms, pull the ends of the towel down and then press out with your thighs. Continue breathing and hold the pressure for 3 seconds. And relax. Perform 10 repetitions or as many as you can to start with. The primary purpose of this exercise is to work the muscles on the outer part of your thighs, the hip abductors. But because you're holding tension with your arms, you'll also be using some arm muscles. Do your best to keep your arms relaxed and pull with minimal resistance through your arms. The next exercise is an isometric scapular retraction and shoulder external rotation using the towel. So now we'll move the towel up so that you're holding it in your hands with your palms up and your hands about shoulder distance apart. Relax your elbows onto the surface. Your fingers should be pointing up toward the ceiling. Squeeze your shoulder blades down into the table, bringing them closer together in the back. And gripping the towel firmly, pull out against the towel as if you were trying to stretch the towel out to the sides. Keep breathing and hold the pressure for 3 seconds. And then relax. Squeeze your blades down into the surface, bringing them closer together in the back. Gripping the towel firmly, now pull your hands out to the side as if you were trying to stretch the towel. Continue breathing and maintain the pressure for 3 seconds. Start with light pressure, especially the first few sessions you do this exercise. After 3 seconds, slowly release the pressure and relax. It can also be helpful to match your breathing with this exercise. On an exhale, squeeze your blades together in the back, grip the towel, and gently pull out as if you're stretching the towel. And continue breathing. Hold the pressure for 3 seconds and slowly release and rest. And let's do another repetition. On an exhale, squeeze the blades in the back, grip the towel, and pull out with both hands. And continue breathing. Maintain the pressure for 3 seconds, and then slowly release and relax. Perform 10 repetitions or as many as you can do to start, building up gradually. The 2 isometric exercises can also be done sitting up, but since we started with the bridge and the march lying down, I find it easiest to continue the exercises in this position. Start these exercises with as many repetitions as you can do pain-free. When you're ready to add more, add just 2 to 3 repetitions of one exercise at a time. Continue to perform the exercises at that level of repetition for 2 to 3 sessions. Then when you feel ready to add more repetitions, add another 2 to 3 repetitions. Don't add repetitions to more than one exercise at a time. Now we'll move on to the standing exercises. The instructions I give throughout these exercises are meant to be suggestions only. Please feel free to modify the positions and the movements as it feels most comfortable and most beneficial for you. Next, I'm going to take you through a series of movements working on whole body alignment and balance. I recommend starting these exercises barefoot or in light socks on a comfortable surface. Bring your feet together, as close together as it's comfortable for you. And now lean forward onto your toes, letting your heels come up. And then lean back onto your heels, letting your toes come up. And now when you bring your toes back down, let them rest gently on the surface. Now moving up to the knees, allow a slight bend in the knees, just so that your knees aren't hyperextended. Moving up to your pelvis, bring your navel, your belly button in towards your spine. Lift your chest, relax your shoulder blades down and back. And finally do just a little bit of a cervical retraction. Bringing your chin straight back, just enough to help your head line up over your shoulders. And now with your arms relaxed by your side, let's take one deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Now bring your attention to your hips. Place your hands on your hips and notice the position of your pelvis. Gently explore small movements of your pelvis. Tip your pelvis forward just a little bit and then back. Turn to one side and then turn to the other side and then back to the center. Now shift side to side and come back to the center. Now rest and notice what you feel. Are you approximately even And is your pelvis in a neutral position? Or does your pelvis feel tilted, tipped, or rotated? Do you notice any difference between the left side of your pelvis and the right side of your pelvis? Now take one more deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And just let yourself settle into whatever position you're in this moment. And now bring your attention to your feet. Notice where you feel the most contact and pressure with the surface. Is it more toward the front of your foot, or is it the ball and toes, or is it more toward the back of your foot, underneath your heel? Is there more pressure toward the inside of your feet or the outside of your feet? And do you notice any difference between the left and the right foot? And again, let's take one breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And let yourself settle in here. Now notice anywhere in your body that feels out of place or off balance. See if you can make any small adjustments to bring that part into neutral alignment. Let's take one more breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Now, if this process feels good for you, it's just fine to take additional breaths between each step to help relax and calm your nervous system and help you find those small movements, those small adjustments that might help you feel like you're in more neutral alignment. And take as much time with this exercise as you like. Now moving on to single leg balance. Start with upright posture, shift your weight over to one leg. I'll start with single leg balance on the right leg. If you need to stand in front of a countertop or other sturdy support to start with, that's just fine. It's a great way to begin this exercise. And then gradually, as you're able, tap and lift your fingers, and then finally perform this exercise in free space, away from any support surface. Okay, starting with my full weight on my right leg, but just resting my left foot on the floor. I'm going to set up my posture before I lift my left leg. First, pay attention to the contact between your right foot and the floor. Imagine a tripod of support underneath your right foot. The three legs of the tripod are made up of the part underneath your big toe, right through the ball of the foot. The second part of the tripod is under the fifth toe knuckle, along the ball of your foot. And finally, the third point of the tripod is under your heel. Notice how much pressure you feel under those 3 points. Under your big toe knuckle and your fifth toe knuckle at the ball of the foot, and then underneath your heel. Finally, moving up the chain, allow a slight flexible bend in your knee to prevent hyperextension of the knee. Then moving up into your pelvis, draw your belly button in toward your spine to engage those lower abdominal muscles. And lift the chest, relax the shoulders, and again do just a little bit of a chin tuck. Finally, with the strong, secure feeling in the right leg and all the way up to the head, go ahead and begin to lift your left leg. And stand and balance. Notice how your weight shifts underneath your foot, the inside to the outside, perhaps the front to the back. Notice if you feel your trunk beginning to sway. Notice if your hips or your pelvis sway. Notice if your knee wants to bend more or straighten. All of these things are just fine. Balance is not about staying in one place statically. It's about moving and going with the flow of that movement, always coming back to the center. Start with maintaining balance on one leg for 5 seconds, whether you're touching on a countertop or whether you're doing this in free space. And then put your foot down and shake out your leg. Gradually build up to single leg balance for 30 seconds, increasing by about 2 to 3 seconds at a time. Now I'll show you on the left leg. I'll shift all of my weight over to the left leg, keeping my right leg on the surface just for a moment. Now I'm going to feel for that tripod underneath my left foot. I'll feel the pressure under my big toe knuckle, my fifth toe knuckle, and my heel. Also, it's helpful to flutter your toes a little bit to help your toes relax. It's quite common when balance is difficult to grip with the toes. So it can help to flutter and relax the toes before moving into single leg balance. Okay, now moving up the chain, I'll have a little bit of soft bend in my knee. I'll engage my abs, lift my chest, relax my shoulders, and keep my chin tucked. Okay, now I'll lift my right leg. And I'm noticing how my weight is shifting, how I'm going in and out on my left foot, a little bit forward and backward. I notice my knee wants to straighten and bend. I notice a little bit of shift in my hips and a little bit of sway in my trunk. Okay, again, start with 5 seconds and then put your foot down and shake it out. I recommend starting with 2 to 3 repetitions on each side, alternating left single leg balance with right single leg balance. As with all of the exercises, start with what feels comfortable for you, gradually add more repetitions and a longer duration hold, session by session. Be sure to perform several sessions at the next level of progression before adding on more. Shoot for performing these exercises daily, knowing that you might miss a day here and there. So on average, 5 to 6 days a week is fantastic. You might also benefit from some of my other stabilization exercise videos focused on the neck and upper back, or the cervical and thoracic spine. Check out the links in the description below to check out those other stabilization videos. I hope you've enjoyed this series of exercises to improve full body stability. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Leave any questions or comments down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I'm able. Here's to your healing, health, and happiness. Have a fantastic day.